Hey everyone, Shun here with an upcoming anime video to help give you an idea of what new anime we'll be seeing this upcoming spring season. Like usual, I'm going to keep these kind of videos short and jump into the series. To start things off, Persona 5 the animation stars and Rs. It is likely going to be a special broadcast covering the final segment of the game following the Dark Sun. As I keep saying in my previous videos, the game Persona 5 for the PS4 is amazing. It has a brilliant story and I highly recommend it. This special will be animated by Cloverworks and airs on March 23rd. Diamond No Ace Act 2. Picking up the next year after the end of the fall tournament, the Sado High School baseball team battled it out with new and old faces as they begin their tournament run at Koshien. Animated by Madhouse, this airs on April 2nd. Kono yo no hate de koi o Utau shoujo Yuno, or Yuno, a girl who chants love at the bound of this world. Takuya Arima is a young student whose father disappeared recently. During a summer vacation, Takuya receives a peculiar package from his missing father, along with a letter containing information about the existence of various parallel worlds. He soon realizes that he possesses a device that allows him to travel to alternate dimensions. Animated by Fio, this airs on April 2nd. Aikatsu Friends, Kagayaki no Jewel or Shining Jewel will be a sequel to the Aikatsu Friends TV series that aired during last year's spring season. The anime will be set 2 years after the story of Aikatsu Friends, with Aine Yuki now in high school. The story begins with her encounter with the mysterious idol Hibiki Amakake, who wears the shining jeweling dress. Made by BN Pictures, this airs on April 4th. Yatogame-chan Kansatsu Nikki, or Yatogame-chan Observation Diary. Kaito Jin is a second-year high school student who moved to Aichi from Tokyo. He meets Monaka Yatogami, who has a heavy Nagoya dialect, and he learns about Nagoya through joining photography club. Animated by creators Impact and Saita, this airs on April 4th. Han-Gyaku-sei Million Arthur, or Operation Han-Gyaku-sei Million Arthur Season 2. The series depicts a lighter comedic story than the original game it is based on. The smartphone franchise has accumulated over 40 million game downloads and received several spin-off series. Animated by JC Staff, this airs on April 4th. Bakumatsu Crisis is the second season of the Bakumatsu anime series, which is an adaptation of the Otome smartphone game of the same name, and made by Studio Dean. This airs on April 5th. Yokai Watch. This will be a new series with Keita as the main character, and made by OLM. This airs on April 5th. Fruits Basket. This will be a remake of the 2001 anime series that was animated by Studio Dean. For those not familiar with the series, the story is by a 16-year-old high schooler, Toru Honda, whom after a family tragedy, takes matters into her own hands and begins living alone in a tent. Unfortunately for her, she pitches her new home on private land belonging to the mysterious Soma clan, and it isn't long before the owners discover a secret. But as Toru quickly finds out, when the family offers to take her in, the Somas have a secret of their own, that when hugged by the opposite sex, they turn into the animals of the Chinese zodiac. Of course, this being a remake, this is expected to have beautiful visuals and animation, and made by TMS Entertainment. This remake will air on April 6th. Senryuu Shoujo. Yukishio Nanako is a cute, cheerful high school girl with one peculiar trait. Instead of verbal communication, she writes Senryu poems, which is a type of haiku to relay her thoughts. Together with ex-delinquent Bushijima Eiji, they are budding freshmen at the school's literature club. Even though Nanako doesn't talk, with the power of Senryu, the pair has no problem enjoying their fun school life. And made by Connect, this airs on April 6th. Midara na Ao-chan wa Benkyou ga Dekinai, also known as Ao-chan can't study. When Ao was in kindergarten, she smiled as she told her classmates how her father, who is a best-selling erotic author, chose her name from A as in apple and O as in orgy. Okay. That day still haunts her 10 years later as she studies with a single goal in mind, to get into an elite university and achieve independence from her father. She has no youth to misspend and no time to think about boys until her classmate Kijima approaches her with a shocking confession of love. She tries to lose Kijima, but he just can't take a hint, and as her mind runs wild with impure thoughts, she realizes her father has completely influenced her. And made by Silverlink, this airs on April 6th. Hitoribocchi no Seikatsu, or Hitoribocchi lifestyle. Hitoribocchi suffers from extreme social anxiety. I mean, don't we all nowadays? She's not good at talking to people and takes pretty extreme measures to avoid people to the point where it gets ridiculous. Now she is entering middle school and her only friend Yatta Guy is attending a different school. This leaves Hitori alone, surrounded by new classmates with whom she must make friends with before Kai will talk to her again. And made by C2C, this airs on April 6th. Mix, Meisei Story. Mix takes place 26 years from the story Touch, and Touch is a TV anime series that was the prequel to Mix. From the legend left by the hero of Touch, Mix is about two stepbrothers, Soichiro and Toma Tachibana. The two aim to revive the once-strong Meisei Academy's baseball team. Once the two enter high school, they pair as a battery and aim to enter the National High School Baseball Championship. Animated by OLM, this airs on April 6th. Chou Kadogeru Rokubu no Ichi, Amazing Stranger, or Overdrive Girl 1/6, Amazing Stranger. Boida Haruto, a hardcore otaku with no interest in women, once appreciated figures from afar, accepting that if you get into them, there's no turning back. However, when Nona, a character he loved from an anime, had a figure of her released, he ended up purchasing it. And then, that night, the figure of Nona somehow came to life, and a couple-like lifestyle between man and toy began. This kind of reminds me of that one anime where one of the main characters' love interest is a girl he knows who got turned into his right hand. I think it was called Midori no Hibi or Midori Days. Yeah, these are These are something alright. And made by Studio A-Cat, this airs on April 6th. Joshi Kausei is a short slice of life series. The beautiful but unlucky Momoko, the cool and collected Shibumi, and a refreshingly innocent Mayumi star in a silent manga. So in the manga, there are no speeches and no dialogue, so it's gonna be interesting how this anime will turn out. Just pictures, sound effects, and 3 high school girls living their daily lives. And made by 7, this airs on April 6th. Nobunaga-sensei no Osanazuma, or Mr. Nobunaga's young bride. The romantic comedy manga story centers on Nobunaga, a middle school teacher who constantly dreams of a beautiful girl who loves him appearing in front of him. One day, the 14-year-old Kicho, the wife of the real-life Warring States period warlord Oda Nobunaga, appears in front of him, having apparently traveled through time. Something like a reverse isekai, I guess? She mistakes the present-day Nobunaga for the historical Oda Nobunaga, and made by 7, this airs on April 6th. Kimetsu no Yaiba, or also known as Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. Since ancient times, rumors have abounded of man-eating demons lurking in the woods. Because of this, the local townsfolk never venture outside at night. Ever since the death of his father, Tanjiro has taken it upon himself to support his mother and 5 siblings. But that warmth is shattered one day when Tanjiro finds his family slaughtered, and the lone survivor, his sister Nezuko, turned into a demon. Adding to his sorrow, a demon hunter named Tomioka Giyu arrived and was about to finish Nezuko off. But to his surprise, she and Tanjiro started to protect each other. Tomioka decides to send him to his old mentor to be trained. So begins Tanjiro's life as a demon hunter, bound on a quest to cure his sister and find the one who murdered his entire family. And made by Youthful Table, this airs on April 6th. Bokutachi wa Benkyou ga Dekinai, or We Never Learn. His late father always said that a useful man should strive to be useful. So to that end, 3rd-year high school student Naruyuki Yuga dedicated himself to becoming a high-achieving student in his school, despite his history of poor grades. His ultimate goal is to obtain the special VIP nomination, a prestigious scholarship covering all future university tuition fees. He is constantly overshadowed by classmates Rizu Ogata and Fumino Furuhashi in mathematics and literature. Fortunately for him, Naruyuki receives the nomination, but there's a catch. He has to tutor his 2 star classmates, who are each hopelessly mediocre at the other subjects. And made by Arvo Animation and Silver, this airs on April 7th. Kono Oto Tomare, or Stop This Sound. Since the graduation of the senior members of the club, Takezo ends up being the sole member of the Koto Club. Koto is a traditional Japanese string instrument. Now that the new school year has begun, Takezo will have to seek out new members into the club, or the club will become terminated. From out of nowhere, a new member appears demanding to join the club. And made by Platinum Vision, this airs on April 7th. Gunjo no Magmel, or Magmel of the Sea Blue. One day in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, a miracle occurred. A new continent appeared out of nowhere. The new continent was the home for new and mysterious plants, creatures, and minerals. Humanity is excited, as the age of exploration has returned. And made by Studio Pierrot, this airs on April 7th. Shometsu Toshi, or Where I End and You Begin. One day, a city suddenly disappears. Takuya, a professional courier and lone wolf, meets Yuki, the only survivor from the city's extinction. The two rely on a message from Yuki's father, who is heard to be missing, and head toward the disappeared city lost. Before them are the feelings of those left behind, a mysterious group manipulating in the shadows and unveiling the hidden conspiracy. The two will unravel the mystery of the lost city during their journey. And made by Madhouse, this airs on April 7th. Fairy Gone is an original anime set in a world where fairies possess and reside within animals, granting them special powers. By surgically removing and transplanting the organs of a possessed animal into a human, humans can partially summon the fairy and use it as a weapon. Eventually, such individuals were used for war and were called fairy soldiers. The story centers on the protagonist Maria, who is a fresh recruit of Dorothea, an organization dedicated to the investigation and suppression of fairy-related crimes and incidents in a chaotic post-war world. Low-key though, this kind of reminds me of God Eater. Anime by PA Works, this airs on April 8th. Nande koko ni sensei ga? Or Why the hell are you here, teacher? 17-year-old Ichiro Sato is an average teenager who always happens to find himself in perverted situations with his teacher, Kana Kojima. Follow this erotic love comedy about their mishaps through their daily lives and how Ichiro and Kana choose to handle them. I'm just hoping this isn't one of those anime series that is straight up porn disguised as a TV series. Anime by Tier Studio, this airs on April 8th. Hachigatsu no Cinderella 9, translated as Cinderella 9 in August, is an anime adaptation of the mobile game. In the game, the player takes the role of an unnamed former Little Senior League baseball ace who lost his or her baseball career after suffering an unspecified injury. The character is persuaded to be the manager of a school's baseball team and to take the team to the high school nationals at Koshien. Anime by TMS Entertainment, this airs on April 8th. Namu Amida Butsu Rendai Utena, the pain that everyone cannot escape when living. The living, old, sick, and deaf. The way to save it is through Buddhist enlightenment. At the end of a war, a prince who obtained the Buddhist enlightenment became the Shaka Nyorai and saved the world. Mada, the warrior that once tried to destroy Shaka's enlightenment, has made a contract with the devil in order to seek revenge against Shaka. He begins to control people with worries. This will be a battle between Mada and the Buddhist gods. Anime by Asahi Production, this airs on April 8th. Robie Hachi. The anime story is set in Neo Tokyo in the year Galaxy Century 0051, which marks a half-century since first contact was made. Humans have obtained super light-speed navigation technology and formed a commonwealth of planets with aliens. Two people, Robie and Hachi, who were at first at odds with each other, decide to travel across the galaxy to Iskandar together, a distant and legendary planet in the Milky Way that is said to bring happiness to those who go there. Animated by Studio Comet, this airs on April 8th. Isekai Quartet. A mysterious switch appeared one day. When pressing it, they were sent to a different alternate world. There are also characters from other alternate worlds gathered together. If you haven't guessed it already, this is a petite crossover anime featuring characters from the well-known isekai series Overlord, Konosuba, Re:Zero, and Youjo Senki. Animated by Studio Pyukai, this airs on April 10th. Strike Witches Go Hyakubutai Hashin Shimasu, or 501st Unit taking off. The story follows the silly everyday lives of the members of the 501st Unit, as they cook and clean and do other everyday tasks, when there's a lack in the Neroid attacks. This short anime series will be animated by AKF, Anime Beans, Giga Production, and Production IG. This airs on April 10th. Sawayaki Kitsune no Senko-san, or Meddlesome Kitsune Senko-san. The everyday life of Nakano, a salaryman working for an exploitative company, is suddenly intruded upon by the fox Senko-san, who is an 800-year-old little girl. Whether it be cooking, cleaning, or a special service, she'll heal his exhaustion with her tender care. Whatever that means. That's not suggestive, right? Animated by Dogakobo, this airs on April 10th. Kenja no Mago, or the sage's grandson, a young man who had surely died in an accident, was reborn in another world as a baby. Oh my god, another isekai. After that, he was picked up by the patriot hero sage Merlin Wolford, and was given the name Shin. He was raised as a grandson by Merlin and soaked up Merlin's teachings, earning him some shocking powers. However, when he became 15, his grandfather Merlin realizes he forgot to teach him common sense. This story will be about an abnormal boy's unconventional otherworld fantasy life. Animated by Silverlink, this airs on April 10th. Carol and Tuesday. 50 years have passed since mankind began migrating to the new frontier, Mars. It's an age where most culture is produced by AI, and people are content to be passive consumers. Two girls, one poor and one wealthy, named Carol and Tuesday, dream of becoming musicians. A chance meeting brings them together as they feel like they just might have a chance. Animated by Bones, this airs on April 11th. Another season of Shingeki no Kyojin or Attack on Titan this spring. This will be the second part to the third season. Slated to be 10 episodes, this second core will be the 50th to the 59th episode of the anime series. Animated by Wit Studio, this airs on April 29th. Bungou Stray Dogs Season 3, Kenichi Suzumura will join the anime's cast as the character Katai Tayama. Tayama is a hacker who has known Kunikita for a decade. A former armed detective agency member, he now lives as a shut-in in his apartment. Animated by Bones, this airs sometime in April. Cinderella Girls Gekijo Climax Season is the 4th season of Cinderella Girls Gekijo, also known as the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls Theater, and met by Gathering, this airs in April. Kabukicho Sherlock Shinjuku Ward East Side, the center of the street with most chaos. There's a kabukicho full of neon lights. When the light is stronger, the shadow is deeper. The story begins when certain bizarre murder happens one night, and met by Production IG, this airs in April. Kirata Pre-chan Season 2 is the second season of Kirata Pre-chan. This season will add one more idol, animated by Donggu A&E and Tatsunoko Production, this airs in April. Mayonaka no Akaruto Komuin, or Midnight Occult Civil Servants. Miyako Arata is newly assigned to the Shinjuku Ward Office's Nighttime Regional Relations Department. Each of Tokyo's 23 wards has one such department, established to mitigate paranormal and occult-related events. Arata's special skill is the understanding of non-human speech, and the story begins with him encountering a yokai at Shinjuku Gyoen Park, who refers to him as the legendary Heian-era exorcist Abe no Seime, animated by Liden Films, this airs in April. Sarazanmai. Set in Asakusa, one day 3 second-year middle school students meet a Kappa-like creature named Keppi, who is the self-proclaimed heir to the throne of Kappa Kingdom. Keppi forcibly takes the students to Shiriko-dama, which is apparently a mythical organ Kappa steal through a person's anus, and they are transformed into Kappa. Yeah, I have no idea what's happening either. I met by Mappa and Lap and Track, this airs sometime in April. And finally, One Punch Man Season 2. It's about time, right? How long has it been? Nearly more than 3 years, I think. I was kind of expecting this to come out within a year of the first season's release, but damn, they really took their time on this one. If you haven't watched One Punch Man, it's about a guy named Saitama who's a hero for fun. He trained himself to be so strong that he can defeat any opponent with a single punch. In exchange for all this power, this takes out the thrill and excitement of being a hero. One thing that is different is that a new studio will be animating this second season instead of Madhouse, who did season 1. So there's probably going to be some noticeable differences in terms of visuals and execution of the anime. Made by JC Staff, this airs on April 10th. With all the series out of the way, I'll be finishing this video off with the films. Doraemon Movie 39, Nobita no Getsumen Tansaki, or Chronicle of the Moon Exploration. This is an original story centered around the Isetsu Club member Badge Gadget featured in volume 23 of the original Doraemon manga. And made by Shina Animation, this premiered on March 1st. Uchu Senkan Yamato, Nissan Nyaku ni Aino Senshitachi Movie 7, Shinseihen, or Space Battleship Yamato 2202 Warriors of Love Movie 7 will be the final film in the film series. Shinseihen meaning Nova Chapter. Anime by Zybex, this premiered on March 1st. King of Prism Shiny 7 Stars is a 4-part film series with the theatrical edits of the King of Prism Shiny 7 Stars TV anime. All 4 films will premiere this season. Admin by Tatsunoko Production, the first part premieres on March 2nd, the second on March 23rd, the third on April 13th, and the fourth on May 4th. The TV anime will start airing on April 8th. Since I mentioned the series here, I didn't include it in the series section to avoid repeat. Psychopaths, Sinners of the System, Case 3, Onshu no Kanata ni. Last part translated as In the Realm Beyond is. Following the incident in the Southeast Asia Union in 2116, Shinya Kogami resumes his vagrant journey. In the series as a whole, when is he not? Anyways, in a small South Asian nation, Kogami rescues a bus of refugees under attack by armed guerrilla forces. Among the refugees is a young lady by the name of Tenzin, who begs Kogami to teach her how to retaliate against the enemy. Anime by Production IG, this premiered on March 8th. Grisaya Phantom Trigger will be an anime adaptation of Front Wing's game of the same name. This will serve as a sequel sort to Grisaya no Rakuen. In this story, a new incarnation of Mihama Academy is established and is home to a diverse group of students who every day work to polish their unusual skills. Mihama now entrusts the misfit girls who attend it with guns and live ammunition. Not really caring about their own safety, these students are again put into dangerous extrajudicial missions for the good of the realm. This will be animated by the new studio Birdie Animation Studio and will be its first work. Grisaya Phantom Trigger premieres on March 15th. Osama-san Movie, or Mr. Osamatsu the Movie. The film centers on the sextuplets at a high school class reunion. There they see all their former classmates who have become proper adults with company jobs. The sextuplets sulk about this and go home and drink until they fall asleep, but when they wake up, a certain scene awaits them. And made by Studio Pierrot, this premieres on March 15th. Precure Miracle Universe. The new film will be primarily set in space, and the story will reveal the secret of the Miracle Lights, the mysterious critical items which appear frequently in the franchise's films. And made by Toei Animation, this premieres on March 16th. Kimetsu no Yaiba Kyodai no Kizuna, the last part meaning Siblings Bond, will be a movie recapping the TV series, which I mentioned during the series section of this video. And made by Ufotable, this premieres on March 29th. Trinity 7 Movie, Tenkyu Toshokan to Shinku no Mao, or Heaven's Library and Crimson Lord. Arata, Lilith, and the rest of the Trinity 7 face off against their greatest enemy, Lilith's own father, who is revealed to be the strongest demon lord. He challenges Arata, who is now a demon lord candidate. And made by 7 Arcs Pictures, this premieres on March 29th. Laid Backers. In order to take over her grandmother's Nagashi Store, art student Kumi Honamanuma moved to Kyoto. She met Harami, Kei, Mai, and a dog who lives in the store, which was supposed to be empty. Kumi ended up living with these girls, who claim that they are heroes reincarnated to contemporary period to chase after the Demon King Ran. Ran, who was the Demon King in the past, appears as an elementary school girl failing to reincarnate. The story begins with Ran requesting to collect the Demon King's fragments together. Also, Kizuna Ai will be performing the theme song for this series called Precious Peace, animated by Studio Gokumi. This premieres on April 5th. Pandora to Akubi, or Pandora and Yon. The overall story of the film is that Pandora and Akubi are crossing dimensions to collect the fragments of disaster, which have the power to destroy worlds. Animated by Bakken Record, this premieres on April 5th. Detective Conan Movie 23 Konjo no Fistal, or The Fist of Blue Sapphire. Not much else to say honestly, since we get these as frequently as every other season. Animated by TMS Entertainment, this premieres on April 12th. Crayon Shinchan Movie 27 Shinkan Ryoka Hurricane Ushinawareta Hiroshi, or Honeymoon Hurricane Las Hiroshi. The film is set in Australia and follows the Nohara family on an inexpensive and family-friendly honeymoon trip that Meisei discovered. Instead of the romantic trip, they get wrapped up in a dangerous adventure. Hiroshi is the center of the story and becomes the key to a treasure. And made by Shina Animation, this premieres on April 19th. Hibiki Euphonium Movie Chikai no Finale, also known as Sound Euphonium Movie Os Finale, is an all-new film telling the story of Kumiko Omae and others as second-year students. Animated by Kyoto Animation, this premieres on April 19th. Birthday Wonderland, a movie adaptation of the 1981 children's book Chikashi Tsukada no Fushigi no Tabi. A strange man in a black formal clothing named Hippocrates appears in a basement room. He says he comes from a neighboring world and came to renew a land contract. Akane and her aunt Chi go with him through a portal into his world and go on a wonderful fantasy adventure. Animated by Signal MD, this premieres on April 26th. Hakubo, also known as Twilight, is Yutaka Yamamoto's new anime film project. Hakubo follows youths living in the now and present in Iwaki, Fukushima Prefecture after the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami on March 11, 2011. And made by Twilight Studio, this premieres on May 24th. Lupin III, Mine Fujiko no Uso, or Fujiko Mine's Lie. The story is about an imminent crisis that drives Fujiko into a corner. The film is described as the third film in a series consisting of 2014's Lupin III, Jigen's Gravestone, and 2017's Lupin III, Jikimuri no Ishikawa Gomon. And made by Telecom Animation Film, this premieres on May 31st. Kotetsujo no Kabaneri Movie, Unato Kessen or Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress Movie, The Bow of Unato. The film will open in Japan sometime this season and will focus on the character Mume. The story will take place half a year after the events of the original television anime series. This will be animated by which studio and no specific premiere date was announced yet. And lastly, we have Promare, possibly one of the most hyped anime films this season. In this story, the world is up in flames. The unprecedented disaster is caused by Burnish, a group of mutants who are able to control flames. To stop this threat, Gallo and the Burning Rescue Fire Department is ready to extinguish their wrongdoings. The anime will be very similar in tone to Kill la Kill and Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. Animated by the studio Trigger, this will be the original anime title and will premiere sometime in May. This concludes the upcoming Spring 2019 anime to be released this season. As always, I hope this is helpful to some of you looking to find something to watch for this upcoming season. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell button right afterwards for more videos like these, and to be updated on new anime series or films to watch. Which series or films are you looking forward to this spring? Leave a comment below, I'm curious to know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.